Morning. It is 10 a.m. here, and I decided for today that I wanted to sit outside as it is beautifully warm out. Yeah, I just love being outside, so I figured this would be a good backdrop for today's video. Authenticity, okay? Authenticity is the most genuine, beautiful thing in the entire world, in my personal opinion. And I think to live a life without being authentic, without being who you truly are, and living by others' whims and opinions, is a life of prison, of being jailed by the expectations around us. The ever-changing expectations, mind you. But to live authentically is to be free, is to be unbothered by those around us, and to not follow the corporate standard that surrounds us in all media, in magazines, in movies, in TV shows, on social media. And I am not oblivious to the fact that authenticity is a lonely, hard path, but in the end, it is a worthwhile one that I cannot compare to any other journey I've ever known in my life. So my entire life, I was the outcast, okay? I was the girl who I wore costumes all the time, all the way through high school, actually. Elementary school, middle school, high school. And when I was in elementary school, it was really cool to be the person who knew how to play pretend the best and came up with the best stories and could come up with all these worlds and believe in dragons and mermaids and make potions out of dirt and sticks. That was cool in elementary school, of course. But then you get to middle school, which I truly believe is probably the hardest time in a child's life, because everyone has kind of gotten to this point where they think they know themselves and they think they know it's cool, and it's a constant looking over your shoulder for who's doing the cooler thing and what is right and what is wrong in a middle schooler's eyes. So I was severely bullied. I mean, I was added to group chats that the names were "We Hate Isabella," and, all these people I thought were my friends were in those chats. I had people tell me they wouldn't sit at the lunch table with me if I wore this certain thing the next day. I would be driven to school by my mother and be sitting in the passenger seat. And I would literally be shaking because, let's say this day, I particularly wanted to wear wolf ears. And I was just so scared. And my mom just kissed me on the head and said, "Bella, don't listen to what they say. Keep being you." And I remember that moment so specifically because it was a frequent moment in my household where I was reminded to be myself regardless of other people's thoughts. But I understand that not everybody may be that lucky, so that's what this video is for, okay? I want you to understand I'm speaking directly to you when I say conforming is not worth it. And in my opinion, conforming feels like putting on a second layer of skin that isn't yours. It doesn't fit. It doesn't feel right. And your soul dies a little, I think, every time you conform to the mass. Now, I'm not saying you have to be totally outrageous and go out against everything. If you like something that a lot of people like, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm a girl. I love candles and I love shopping and I love wearing pink and all that stuff. There's nothing wrong with liking things that most people like. But the problem is when you start to change yourself to adhere to what other people want from you. It is never worth it. And all these people, an interesting story is that almost all of these people that would bully me or make fun of me, now I'm in college, I'm in my sophomore year of college, they've either reached out to me or I've ran into them in public, and they tell me that they admired what I did and that I had balls and that they could never do what I did. So while people may be criticizing you on the outside and say to you, "Oh, oh my God, she looks so stupid. I can't believe she's wearing that," or they'll laugh at you and whisper in the hallway, a lot of times underneath that, it's actually jealousy. A lot of hatred is born from jealousy. So understand that, okay? A lot of people, when you do something bold, a lot of people wish that they had the gall to do that. And don't take their insults to heart, because they're just doing it for social prowess. They're just doing it to be cooler in the group setting, to get the seat at the lunch table. Everyone in middle school is lost and is trying to figure out who they are. And we all grasp these big groups of people to try to find some sense of identity. Okay? And so it's hard to, looking back, like, to fault people for being mean to me, although it doesn't make it okay. Now I understand why they were doing the things they were doing. But understand as well that people make fun of what they don't understand. So, and just because you may be someone who's more authentic than someone else doesn't mean you aren't guilty of this in a different way. Maybe you make fun of jocks. Maybe you make fun of popular girls and assume that they're all the same the way that they're making fun of you for being unique. Being yourself is the brightest light that you can shine. To shine your brightest light is to be your truest self. That was my yearbook quote. And it's true. Looking back at so many times that I wore costumes to school, or I confidently told people that I believed in a certain mythical creature, I don't regret it a single time. Even though it might have been some of the hardest times of my life, the backlash that I got from saying or doing those things, I still came out triumphant because I stayed true to myself. And there is no greater victory than that, than honoring who you truly are, being who you truly are despite what people think. Because you live one life. And if you spend your entire life doing what the other people want you to do, when you graduate, let's say high school, those people aren't around anymore, what do you have left? Who are you? Do you even know who you are? Because you've spent your entire life chasing after the validation of other teenagers who, mind you, are just as lost and misunderstood and confused as you are. To be yourself is an act of rebellion, is a brave act of rebellion, especially in a time where social media is so huge and is trying to make everyone the same. To be cringe is to be free. Understand this. To be cringe is to be free, okay? In this modern generation, it feels like everyone just doesn't want to feel anything. Everyone wants to be the same. Everyone wants to fit in, and everyone will do anything they can to not be that person that is made fun of. But let me tell you something. When you release caring about what other people think about you, my God, you are free to do anything you wish, to be anyone you wish. Like, the freedom is truly astounding. And yes, even though I am someone who has worked hard to be myself my entire life, that doesn't mean that the comments don't get to me. That doesn't mean that it doesn't bother me. There were so many days where I spent sitting alone in a cafeteria. But I would pick that and being the social outcast any day over trying to be someone that I wasn't to impress other people. Because those people are all gone. I don't know of any of those people anymore. They didn't become anything. The people who take the time out of their day and their energy to make fun of you are people that are so miserable in their own lives, they are not willing to examine their own issues, their own biases per se, their own flaws. People point fingers so that they do not look at themselves. Because they point fingers because looking in the mirror is just simply too hard. So understand that. Thinking about these reasons why people might make fun of you. Groupthink is this concept of how when human beings are in a large group of people, they tend to kind of think together as one being. And no one really kind of steps out with their own original ideas because being accepted socially is like one of the number one things that human beings sought after. Because it was for survival reasons. Again, we are cavemen at the end of the day. So to be socially accepted is like the number one thing to us because we need that to survive. So that's why some people are willing to go to such extreme lengths to be accepted, because their brain has convinced them it is the number one most important thing in life. It is the key to survival. I'm not saying that choosing to sit alone at that lunch table is easy, okay? I'm not saying that you don't shake with anxiety walking into the school doors, maybe wearing something that your group would totally go against. But I promise you, no one worthwhile in your life is going to make fun of you for following your heart. And that's how you can really put your friendship to the test. Even if they don't even have to like it, right? They don't have to like the thing you're doing. But if they show you a lack of respect or they make fun of you, that is not someone that you want in your life. And while I understand it's really hard to say something like that in the earlier days, especially middle school, it feels like social exile by saying that. It feels like social suicide to say, oh, I you know what, this person's not worthwhile, I'm just going to be on my own. You will learn lessons probably 100 times more valuable by sticking to your morals of being yourself and being true and being honest and being genuine and authentic than by sticking with the group. The resilience, the self-confidence, the patience, the kindness, the utter bravery that you will learn by sticking on your own and being on your own when you should be, instead of taking the easier way out because of, for the sake of remaining with a group, you can tell. It's really sad. I feel like you can really tell who's been bullied even by just a conversation with them. You can see the kindness that they've developed in most people. You can see what they've been through and how they clearly swore to themselves to never treat other people the way they were treated. Now, bullying is an unnecessary evil, and I wish it did not exist, but it does. So we need to, especially people who are unique and authentic that get bullied, I want to encourage your authenticity more than anything else, okay? There is nothing more important to me in this video than encouraging you to be your true self. You live one life. For the love of God, wear the tiara to the bookstore if you want, okay? Sometimes you may even get compliments from people. Sometimes I'll do stupidly outrageous things like wear full medieval garb to a bookstore and get so many compliments for being myself. The bravery that you exhibit in this world, people will see that and be inspired by that. And in a world where it feels like everybody's nonchalant and everybody's the same, don't you want to stand out and have your own little rebellion in this way? Don't you want to be like those fantasy warriors you read about and make a change in this world? To be authentic is the most basic form of rebellion. You don't want to be an NPC. You want to be the main character, and there's nothing wrong with that. And people, then people turn being a main character of your own life into a negative thing, like main character syndrome. God forbid someone lives their own life and does what they want to do with their life. Honestly, if you just remove your care for what other people think, my God, you will be free. Next time you want to go out or next time you want to do anything, ask yourself this. What would I do if there was no one else on the planet? Like if I was going to go to this bookstore and I know that no one would be there, what would I wear? What would I do? How would I act? And act like that. Stop letting your soul die inside you by not obeying it, not being true to it. Your life is so short. I swear to God, I was 11 yesterday and I blinked and now I'm 20. If I could go back to those times that I was in middle school and being different and, doing those unique things, I would probably double the crazy things I was doing. I would wear costumes every day instead of once a week. Because your life is your own. Your life is what you make it. So please, for the love of God, be free. Be cringy. Do what you love. Be who you truly are. Build those things that they can't take away from you, which is self-love, self-respect, patience, kindness, dignity. People cannot take that from you. In a world where they can take our houses, our money, our clothes, our friend groups, our family members even die, unfortunately. Build up those things that they cannot take from you. Authenticity is the most beautiful thing I have ever experienced. And to be myself has created some of the most incredible memories ever. And now looking on social media, the things that me and others like me used to be bullied for, loving those fantasy things and loving those fantasy books, now it's cool. People are going to fantasy balls and events all over the world now. Us nerds and bullied people and unique, authentic people are rising up and creating communities for ourselves. I wish I had these communities when I was younger, but Now is a time more than ever to get out there and be yourself. There is a world full of communities on social media. There is a world full of people that think like you and enjoy those things. I didn't have that back then. So take advantage of that now. Use those resources for good. Spread the message of being genuine and being real and being honest. And when you see someone being picked on, go out there. Stand up for them. The least cool thing you can do is pick on someone else for being who they are. The coolest and most authentic thing you can do is to be you. So go out there today and do something that you know will light your soul up inside of you. Something that will make your eyes sparkle and your younger self proud. Because you only live once. And while authenticity is a lonely path, it is the most beautiful, soul-nourishing, worthwhile, genuine, and most importantly, most respectable path that you can take. So be yourself. And I promise you, from my little camera on my channel, I will be cheering you on. Be yourself, regardless of what the crowd tells you you should be. Be yourself until your lungs give out. Be yourself. Be authentic. Be cringe. Be free. This is your life. Don't let anyone take that from you. I love you if no one told you today. And I believe in you. And I can see your true self. And they are beautiful. Thank you for watching.